All right, everybody, welcome back to another episode of the Truth Life podcast. I got my guys here. One of a very special guest, one of the most exciting players I like watching. Played against him last year, and I got nothing but high praise for this guys and nothing but respect for him. And he decided to let us have the pleasure of having him on the Truth Life podcast. I want to introduce y'all to Chima Moneke.
Yes, sir. Yes, sir. First time we played against each other, you said there's money to be made. You remember that? You said there's a lot of money to be made, and you got something.
Yeah, man.
Next year, my second year, you was MVP and I was second, and then this year we meet again, and it's respect and it's love from my side to yours. You know that.
Right. It's just I always say that after the game. It's like whenever I see someone in me a little bit, like a younger me, I always tell them I wish somebody would have told me, like, bro, go get
Right.
this money. You know what I'm
Right.
saying? So
That's
everybody
how it's
always
supposed
told
to
me
be.
to just wild out and do all the back then it was a little different. We ain't had no Facebook like that. We had Facebook,
Right.
but it wasn't as popular. So you had to do you had a lot more distractions without
Right.
the phone. That's the crazy part.
That's a fact.
But yeah, though, man, I just want to get you on and let everybody know who you is. And we really this whole show is to get into your mental to find out how you got to where you are today. Because
Man.
I know there's some little hooper or some pro hooper that you possibly can help. You know what I'm saying? So just start off
Absolutely.
by giving us like an introduction of who you are, where you come from, and something short, sweet. Just let us know who Chima
Yeah.
Moneke is.
Chima Moneke, fucking Nigerian. That's a big part of who I am. I'm 24, turning 25, Christmas Eve. Grew up playing soccer, football. Wanted to be Ronaldo, JJ Okocha, for those who know who that is. Didn't touch the basketball until I was 13. Moved back to Australia, touched that. Fell in love with it over the next couple years, and I made it my goal to play professionally or play in the USA. And I've achieved almost everything I've set out to achieve, and dreams have turned into goals. And now I have a couple more goals that I got left to do. At every level that I've been to, I've hit a roadblock. I've hit a moment where I wasn't sure if I would get to the next level, and then soon after I reminded myself that yeah, this is gonna happen. So that's a quick little breakdown. I could speak for hours about where I've been and what I've been through, but you know, that's a quick little breakdown.
All right. So you say you're from Australia. How did you end up getting in the States?
So, you know, I lived in Australia. My parents were diplomats. And the second time I moved back to Australia was for high school, and which is when I picked up basketball. And the reason I went to America was I got a junior college scholarship in 2013, and then that's when the hard work really started to begin. And I got the offer. Did 2 years in Nebraska junior college, Northeast Community College, and transferred to UC Davis. Redshirted my first year and had 2 great years there.
What's that grind like? I never got like that. I never understood junior college, but you know what I'm saying. I never been around it. I don't know many people from it. What's
Man,
that grind like in junior college for them 2 years?
yo, to come from Australia and then to do JUCO, and I didn't even understand what JUCO was. I just knew that.
First though, I don't want to cut you off. How did you go from Australia to a JUCO in Nebraska? How did that
Man,
even come
all
about?
right. So I before that, let's take a step back. In my senior year, I'm playing with one of my great friends till this day, Dante Exum, who's made it to the NBA. And
Right.
playing on that stage with him is what honestly got me that look. But before that, I was serious about basketball, and I was emailing hundreds of schools. I promise you, I emailed 300 schools. Started off with
Time out.
Division I schools.
I don't want to cut you off. I don't want to cut you off.
No, I'm hearing
But
you.
we're gonna start back at emailing 3,000 schools because I hope you guys are listening. I said this in one of my early episodes. There's no excuse not to make it if you have some type of talent because you have
Mm,
access. to so much. Coach's email address. You can find it's so many ways to get in touch with teams today. Your social media can be a resume. Email,
Man,
do anything you can to find out how to
man,
get in touch with these guys. But I'm not gonna cut you off no more. I had to. That was like
no, that's real.
that's
That's
like my
real,
message. That was my message
man.
so long. But go
That's
ahead,
real.
bro.
So, emailing 300 schools, I promise you, I got 2 responses: Alaska Anchorage, D2, and then I forget the other NAIA school that I got. I started off D1, emailing all of them over weeks, heard nothing back. I went to D2, went to NAIA. I got 2
Wow.
responses. The responses weren't even like, yo, it was like, keep working. It was nothing like, we want you. So I was going through it. I was like, man, maybe this ain't gonna happen, man. Maybe I'm just gonna play pro in Australia. And then, the tournament school national championship happens, and I'm playing with Dante, and we got a good team. We ended up finishing second. And this guy comes up to me when I'm pissed off after we lost, and he's like, yo, you got something. He said, is anyone helping you get to America? Do you want to play in America? And I'm like, of course I do.
Mhm.
And he's like, okay, give me about 2 weeks, and I'll get you something. I promise you, he called me back probably 3 days later, and he said, we got something for you. It's not D1, and it's in Nebraska, but it's something. At that point, I didn't care.
Right, right,
I just knew that I was going to be in America, and it was a scholarship where my parents didn't have to pay no money for it.
right.
And obviously, growing up in Australia, the education is different in terms of I knew almost everything about America. I knew all 50 states. I knew where Nebraska was before. But I got there, and the JUCO life is dangerous.
Right.
Looking back on it now, man, that those 2 years shaped me. And I know hundreds of dudes that I seen in that JUCO life that never made it out. They came from a D1 and went JUCO, and it wasn't for them, so they was done. And those guys got talent. And me, I was a late bloomer, so like I would see myself the year before, and I'm like, yo, I wasn't even good, but I stuck through it and I made it.
Mhm.
But JUCO's a different breed, man. The dudes that come from JUCO, Mike James, Jimmy Butler, there's countless of dudes that conquer JUCO, and then nothing else is really anything for them. And JUCO is different for sure.
Right. God. Oh boy. So so they ask you if you want to play in them. How's American basketball looked at as in Australia? Is that the goal, or is that like I'm trying to see like if I'm a kid playing basketball in Australia,
Mhm.
is my dream to go to America, or is my dream just to be the best player I can be, and whoever finds me?
So for the Australian kids growing up back then, so this is 7, 8 years ago. Then the people we had to look up to was Andrew Bogut,
Right.
Patty Mills.
Right.
These guys all went Division 1. These guys all went to the NBA. It was never no JUCO. Guys didn't know what JUCO was. This is before Ben Simmons and Dante and all of that. It's come a long way since then, but back then it was either stay home and play in the NBL, which is becoming a great league in the world,
Right.
or it's go Division 1 and then to the NBA. If you're not good enough, you come back and play in Australia. JUCO is not a thing. So I just knew that if I got to America, I would find a way to get someone else's attention to keep me going and to keep leveling me up. But JUCO is definitely not a goal for anybody in Australia. It was Division 1. If you're not good enough, come back and play in Australia.
That's gonna make you legendary. That's gonna make you
Man,
legendary.
oh my God.
So now we're at UC Davis.
Right,
What what's the mindset now? Like we done got past we done got to JUCO, we done overcame
right,
that. Now we got the D1 offer to UC Davis. What's the
right.
mindset now?
So sophomore year, JUCO, I'm averaging 17 and 12. And I'm not hearing from no big schools though. I got every mid-major offer in the world. But because of the 2 years in Nebraska with the snow, I figured that no matter what level I want to go and live in California. Coach seen me at a showcase entering my sophomore year, and that was the first school to offer me. Didn't know what UC Davis was, didn't know where it was. But I always told myself that whatever school offers me first, I'm going to take a visit no matter what, even
Right.
if I don't want to go there. And they offered me, didn't know where Davis was. And my sophomore year and that year for Davis, they ended up having the best year in school history, and they just became a Division I school. So going there, I knew that they didn't have a lot of history in terms of guys. You could count up to 5 guys that, have done successful things as a pro after Davis. So going there, I wanted to be the guy, but I didn't understand that there's levels to that too. And coach was telling me that, you're going to come in and do great things for us. And then I come in and I redshirt. So, I'm like, oh, all right, fuck, here we go. But yeah, so the red shirt happens. I'm not bought into it. I'm not bought in first month. And I'm just like, yo, I should be playing. Like, I'm good. I'm as good as these guys. I'm obviously at that time, I'm like thinking, I'm the best guy here. And I still needed stuff to prove, but it was a great decision for me to redshirt because they didn't have a great year that year. Then my redshirt junior year, we go to the tournament for the first time ever. And
Tournament changed lives.
Oh my gosh. And I'm Big West Conference tournament MVP. We play a playing game against NC Central. I have 18-12 in that. Kevin Harlan, guys are calling my game. And then we play Kansas. And this is the year with Frank Mason and Josh Jackson. They're the number 1 overall seed. We end up losing by 40. But the thing is, I had 20 and 9. Like, at this point, I'm like, yo, I belong. I can play with anybody.
I seen it. Yeah, man, that's I tell people all the time, the tournament changes lives. That redshirt year was your blessing in disguise. I was a late bloomer too, but I didn't get a chance to redshirt. I just rode the bench for 3 years. And then my senior year, I just was MVP everything, led the league in every category. I was possessed.
that's like 3 red shirts without it counting. That's crazy.
That was after 2 years of basically red shirt in high school. I didn't play till I was a junior.
Wow.
Got cut twice in high school. But that's amazing, bro, that you just came on the scene. I told you, bro, the story is just so similar. And I seen all of those games. You gotta understand, whenever I play against players, I know everything that you're telling me. I already knew it. This is for the podcast. I studied everything. When we played against y'all, I knew every game. I knew all about Kansas. I knew all about your highlights at UC Davis.
Yeah.
So it's like,
I appreciate you saying that because there's a lot of dudes that don't love basketball. I'm a basketball fan.
I watch it all day.
If I'm about to play someone and their name is ringing bells, I'm doing my homework.
Yeah.
And there's no player that I'm gonna play that's supposed to be a guy, and I haven't seen what they've done before. So I appreciate you saying that.
All right. If he a 4 and he American or he the same color as me, I'm going to find out everything I can about him. Because then I seen the film. I'm like, I don't know, coach. Because first of all, we're going to get into your pro career, but when we played against each other, I think you had just got cut from Rouen or you left Rouen.
Yes, I did. I got cut 3 games in, man.
Bro, and I'm looking at the film. I'm like, yo, hold on, coach. I don't know what y'all seen. And I told them that season, I said, bro, after the game, I said, that's the best 4 that I played against in this league by far. And it was like, I was like, all right, we're going to see. Watch the rest of the season and next year you dominated both. But let's get into, you done got away from UC Davis. You had the big game against Kansas. Y'all got blown out, but you got.
Right, we ain't got to speak about that part, right?
Going into your pro career, where have you played professionally?
This is year 3 for me. I've been in France every year. Okay. Pro B my first 2 years. 3 teams in those 2 years, and I finally made it 3rd year to first division. So, I get to Rouen, and it's a good team. It's a good team in Pro B, and I'm having a great preseason. I remember, I'll never forget. I get off the plane, I'm late because of visa issues, and 2 days later we're playing Le Mans, and they just came off winning first division the year before. And I remember off the bench, I gave him like 20 and 11 something. And it was all like the same way I was playing in college, just big man buckets, running the floor, dunking, alley-oops. I'm just like, yo, this is pro? Okay, all right. Preseason keeps going. I'm playing really well. I'm excited for the season. Leaders Cup starts. I start the first 2 games and I don't start. And I'm averaging like 11 and 5. I'm like, okay, something's different, but 11-5, I'll take that. I think we won 3 of those 4 games. And then the season starts. And I go from killing to coming in with 2 minutes left in the first quarter and getting taken out with 8 minutes left in the second. And, I shout out to Zimmy. Zimmy is a monster. Zimmy is a dog, and he deserves to be playing.
Right.
But I don't believe that there's any reason why I shouldn't be playing more than that. And every game, it just got worse and worse. And, French Cup, we play Cholet, who's in first division, and coach doesn't even look at me before the game, no eye contact, and I didn't play at all. At all. We win the game, and I'm pissed. And I'm like, okay, sums up. We have practice the next day or so, and coach just tells me, we just don't have plans for you anymore. You can find another team. We don't feel like you fit here. And he ends up telling me that he didn't watch my tape. He watched my 1-on-0 with Drew Hanlon. That's what he watched and then offered me. He expected me to be a pick and pop guy. If I didn't shoot the ball, as soon as I caught it, I'm swinging it, I'm setting the screen. And disrespected me. So I got cut end of October. And then for the next 6 weeks, I didn't have a team. So I was practicing for a team that doesn't want me. And I was just going through it. I'm looking at my old highlights like, yo, who is that guy? I don't know who he is. Like, I'm losing confidence, and I'm the most confident dude in the world. I'm losing confidence, and I'm like, damn. I get cut, go to Danone, which is a same league, same division, but they're just a team that's like, they're not going to get relegated, but they're not going to fight for the playoffs. And that's when I meet you. And obviously, I'm doing my homework at the time, and I knew about Blois and I knew about Tyron Johnson. And by the time we met, I was hyped for that matchup. And I don't remember. I didn't play well, but I remember that you guys gave it to us, and you still saw that I had something. And at that point, I started to pick it up, and I ended up playing really, really well end of my rookie year. But I was ready to take a big step the next year.
Yeah. And that's so damn. And that's when you went on you played with Kemper. And the thing I loved about the team of Kemper was you had some real OGs around you.
Mm,
And you had a coach that played the game a little bit. I was like,
mm,
oh, Chima's finally going to be able to make mistakes.
absolutely.
I was like, this the year. I told it to Tori, Tori's like my right hand man.
Man,
You know what I'm saying?
Tory Thomas, the
Yeah,
guy.
that's like my right hand man. It's like, yo, Ty, he different, Ty. You know how Tori talks.
New York,
Mhm.
New York,
And
man.
I
I
was
know
like,
how Tory talk.
I was like, Tori, bro. I was like, y'all
See,
got a special
but so
team.
what's crazy about Campere and going into my second year, my old agent was telling me, first division, we gonna get you there, blah, blah, blah. So my expectations for my second year is first division.
Mm-hmm.
And I'm not hearing nothing. Season ends in May, nothing, June, nothing, July, nothing. End of July, I'm hearing from Pro B teams, but it's less money than they would have offered me if I was gonna come back in May.
Yeah.
Like, and I'm just pissed. And Campere from the year before was not a team that you was worried about. They ain't made the playoffs since 2007. So I was pissed,
we
man. I
call them
was pissed.
we call them stat games.
As simple as that. That's what everyone. When my boys at Ron, they was always telling me, "Yo, Campere, that's get your numbers up." You know what I'm
Right.
saying? So I was going into that season. I wasn't happy. I wasn't happy because of what my agent was telling me. But then I knew that David Jackson was there, and I saw what he did. Lucas was there, and I knew that we had a chance. I didn't know how good we would be, but I knew that we had a chance to make the playoffs, and I knew that I would have a chance to be myself.
Right. That's all you need, bro. Once you find that one coach that allowed you to be yourself, that's where all that work finally gets to show. You
Oh my
know,
God.
it's like second nature. It's like you working, boom, red shirt. What you mean?
Right.
Working, working, working. Oh, I'm starting out tournament. You know what I'm
Mm,
saying? Working, working, working. You cut me 6 weeks, working, work, picked up with the nine, boom. You've been having nothing but blessing in disguise, and you don't even really, well, you know it now,
seriously.
but it's a bunch
Seriously.
of blessing in disguise, and it goes along with your story and what you made of and what you came from. You know what I'm saying? So it's like,
Simple.
so even speaking about what you came from, that's a good segue. I just found out that I'm from Cameroon. My
West
family,
Africa.
you know what I'm saying? So it's
Right.
like it gave me a certain sense of pride. It,
Absolutely.
it gave me I felt a certain sense of responsibility because I was supposed to go to Yaoundé this summer, and next
Mm.
summer I'm just going to Africa for all my vacations right now. I'm just real.
Right.
I'm on my African tip. Like I want to go
Go.
back home.
I hear you. I hear you.
You recently just got selected to play on the national team for the Nigerian national team. How did that feel? Being selected to play for the Nigerian national. That's one of the most prestigious African teams you can find
We're number one right now in Africa.
for a couple
Nigeria
of
is the team
years.
you think of. Man, um, emotional, man, emotional.
Yeah.
I got the call at a time when I wasn't even expecting because it was before this season started, and I hadn't played games yet. And the fact that our coach is a NBA guy, Mike
Mhm.
Brown, he coached LeBron. For those that didn't know, he's the current head assistant coach for the Warriors.
Right.
So it meant a little more coming from him and speaking to him directly. And he called me and he was like very passionate and he was excited. He sounded like he did his research on me and he believed in me. And he told me that, you're definitely gonna make the 20, but we're gonna cut it down to 12. I don't want to give you any false, hope, and then you don't make the team for some reason. But between you and me, you have a good chance of making it, right? You're gonna find out in the next 3-4 weeks. This is in September. And then probably a month goes by and he sends me a text and say, yo, you made the 12. Just like that. Not no
Mhm.
20, you just made the 12. And at this point, I'm with Orleans, which is the team that I'm with now. And I'm starting to kill. I'm starting to play well. And yeah, I get the call that I made the team. And this is right after we play Asvel, which is which is the game that I'm gonna remember for the rest of my life.
That
Because
puts
that's the game that changed others' perception about me. I always believed that I could do what I was doing, and I did what I was doing against Aswell. I did that to people in Pro B, but because it's Pro B, people say, "Oh, well, he's only 6'6". He's not going to do this against." I don't care. I don't care. I did that to
I was like
Aswell,
a
and
proud big brother in here, man.
man, a lot of people reached out on some, yeah, like you said, being very proud of me, and it was just dope to see people see what I've been feeling for the past few years. And so that the Aswell game happens and then Nigeria gets announced, and all I need to do is stay healthy for the next few weeks. All I need to
Right.
do is stay healthy for the next few weeks. I play a couple, friendly games. We played you guys. We played Evro. And because of the COVID, there's no game. So, you guys got to do that.
Mhm.
And the last game before I'm supposed to fly out on a Monday to represent Nigeria in Rwanda, on a Thursday, we're playing Le Mans, and a minute left in the game, I go up to block a dunk. I come down, land on my back with my left arm outstretched, and
Mm.
I dislocate my shoulder, man. And painful,
Right.
painful. It was more painful because I knew that there was no chance that I'm going to play for Nigeria. And yeah, it sucks, man. And I'm still
Bro,
recovering from that injury right now. So
I don't want to sound like that goes with your it's so funny, bro. It goes with your story. It's,
seriously,
it's like this is that another hurdle that I feel that you're gonna just bounce back from times 10. You
seriously,
feel what I'm saying? I don't believe in the whole karma and stuff like that, but I do believe in when you put that work in, when you don't cheat the game treats you.
right,
And just by you being in that 12, it already showing how the game is treating you. People are
right.
starting to see you. It goes from Nebraska. Nobody was talking about me, and then I ended up in Nebraska to
Right.
redshirt at UC Davis, not at Duke, at UC Davis, to now I'm on the national team for one of the most prestigious teams in the world. And I
I,
dislocated my shoulder Me, for some reason, bro, I lick my chops when that happened because I'm the same way, bro. My first year playing in France, I was like, I went from the Pacers to I
Right.
got cut the last hour of the Pacers, bro. They told me literally, like, bro, you score too much. It's like that's why we got Paul. Mind you, Paul is guarding me every day, and I'm guarding Paul. It's like we just need you to sit in the corner and shoot threes. I'm like, I'm not a three, like I can shoot, but I'm not, I'm a scorer, bro. It's like, yeah, well, I have to let you go. And I went back to
That's crazy.
France, bro. And we lost in the championship to Antibes. And the next year, it was only Pro B teams offering me.
Outrageous.
And I got Pro A offers, but it was like the Pro B offers was better.
Like how?
You know what I'm saying? So it was just crazy, bro. But that was my story. I retired 2 times. I'm just happy that you sticking with it because I retired
Right.
2 times. You know what I'm saying?
Man,
So, man, you guys just stick in there, bro. Everything is shaping just like I feel like it's supposed to shape for you.
it's supposed to.
Everything
Simple as
happens.
that.
Everything happens. Now, let me ask you this question. You said something very interesting because I think one of my superpowers is that I play quarterback and shortstop.
Okay.
Soccer didn't
Wow.
exist in my hood.
Right. I'm here. I'm hearing you.
So, do you think that soccer playing, being a soccer guy coming up, do you think that helps you as a basketball player?
I believe it does. I believe it does. Hakeem Olajuwon, he said the same. He was soccer and he was volleyball, and his coordination, his footwork is impeccable. And I think it helped me, but I know that I was very raw when I started.
Right.
I know that I was very raw. I was not a guy that was blessed with, just
You was very raw in basketball.
I was very raw in basketball. I was very like I came in and I could rebound and I could block shots straight away.
Mhm.
That's what I was good at. And I watch if I watched myself back then, I'd be embarrassed.
Right.
I'd be embarrassed. But it's something that helped me for sure playing soccer. But I also just had to work. I just did. I had to work and I put a lot of time in and I failed a lot of times. I got cut in 2010. So I started playing basketball 2009. In 2010, I'm supposed to be representing my state for the Australian national championships, and I'm the last guy to get cut. And I'll never forget what the coach told me. He just said, "Chima, you're a great athlete, but at this level, I need you to think the game, and I'm not sure you'll ever be able to." Something to this dude, and I'm the only black dude on the team, so
Yeah, that's the worst.
it hit. I didn't understand because I was 14 at the time. I didn't understand what he was saying. But over time and as I've grown up, I'm like, oh, wow. But that's another thing that I had to overcome, and I did it. So
I got you. I got you. That's very interesting for him to say that you would never think at that age that to
come
that be the critique that you would never
on,
be able
man.
to think the game. That
Think the
sound
game.
like it had a little bit more to it.
I promise you, I know it did. And every other guy on that team was born with a basketball in their hand. I'm the only one that started a year. That was me a year in, and he couldn't see the potential. But in Australia back then, not a lot of people did. A lot of people hated me. A
I,
lot of people, a lot of people said, "Why are you so confident in yourself? You're not that good."
uh,
And the few people that did remember me, I know who they are, and all those people that doubted me, they messaging me.
you making them
They
pay.
messaging me, congratulations. Yeah, all right.
You making them pay. It's crazy because I started playing baseball at 4, so I was a baseball
Right.
guy coming up, and
Okay.
I started playing football at 6. And my when I got to high school, my cousin was the coach,
Right.
and they basically told me, "Well, you're gonna play with the junior high team. They need extra players down there." So I'm like, "Okay, no problem."
Right.
But that really, I really got cut.
Right.
The ninth grade year, they hit me with, I was like, "Yo, when we gonna let us know who made the team?" They had a game the night before. It's like, "Oh, well, we played last night." I'm like, "Damn, nobody tell me." Well, you wasn't on the
Nobody
bus.
told
You
me.
probably ain't never made the team. I was like, "Damn." I was like, that's when I realized I got cut.
Right.
I was like, "Damn, again?"
Brutal.
So, bro, like I said, I never let them forget it. I broke every record. I just dominated the last 2 years, bro. But like I said, man, that goes along with our stories, bro. So for me, I'm addicted to failing. it keeps me working hard. That's why I got the saying I say make them pay, because that doubt fuels my success all the time. What is your mentality when you're working out? What do you like? What's going on in the what's waking you up to go to the gym even after you didn't reach it's not your end goal, but you're a pro. What's keeping
Right.
you going now?
I haven't done anything. That's the crazy part. But there's a lot of people in my life that remind me that, yo, you've done a lot. When I sit back myself, I'm about to be 25, and from where I started, there's nobody from when I started that's still doing it right now.
Mm-hmm.
Like in my state,
Mm-hmm.
I think they're all done playing basketball competitively. Like if they're playing, it's like for fun. But for some reason, I just believed in myself from then, and I just never wanted to stop working till NBA, NBA and Olympics are the last two things I need to do. And coming out of college, I linked up with Drew Hanlon, and he helped me. He helped me be around NBA guys.
Mm-hmm.
So from that moment, I knew that I could hang with these guys. I
That
didn't
makes a
stand out
difference.
for, come on, man, I didn't stand out for not belonging. I belonged. I blended in, and I got respect from those guys that meant a lot. And even if the NBA never happens for me, I know that it's not because I'm not capable.
Oh,
There's plenty of things that go into it. There's guys that play in France now that played in the NBA before, and you can't tell me that I can't play with those guys or I can't do what they did. But there's a lot of stuff that goes into it, and I'm just I feel young. I feel young, and I know that I have a lot left to do. And I'm gonna look back at where I am right now, and I'm gonna be like, I didn't even know what else I have to achieve. So
right.
there's
You
plenty of stuff to do, bro.
You
Simple as
just
that.
you just ascending. You really at step one, because with
Seriously.
you know what I'm saying. It's after this season, you're gonna start seeing like, whoa, these offers are crazy. Telling you, bro, around that same age for me, around that 24, 25 age, it went crazy. I just was a renegade, bro. I messed up and learned how to make money too early in my life, to where
Right.
I had the FU mentality. And I'm like, all right, y'all
Mm,
gonna pay me 200 grand? I'm done. I can make 200 grand in America. But I'm like, yo,
mm,
bro, you in the Euro Cup, you 24 years old. What are you
mm,
doing? I quit and
mm.
I went to Japan and Mexico.
Wow.
But like I said, I was a jerk. You got the torch, bro. Like you gotta stay on path and really appreciate where you at, but don't get comfortable, because you got your potential is through the roof. The NBA is definitely not off the table. I'm gonna tell you that
I
right now.
appreciate it.
It's you
I
one
appreciate
summer
it.
league away. You know Jonathan Simmons?
Of course.
Bro,
Tryout. Paid his own way.
bro, from Houston. That was my guy. When I went to Houston, that was like the beef. It was me and Jay Sims. We was both
Mm,
wings, and we used to go at it. I'm like, that boy NBA player.
mm.
And one tryout, bro. And he just dominated. But
Crazy.
like I say, uh, just stick with it, bro. As far as how, I don't want to get you in any trouble. But like for me, and a lot of players I know, coming to a country like France where people are very strongly opinionated,
Right.
how do you stay confident when you know you can do more as a player, and these coaches kind of hold you back? Like people are starting to see that I'm like a great passer now.
Right.
I'm like, bro, I've always been a great passer, but I just never complained because coaches got me playing the four. Somebody said that I can't play the three, but everywhere else in the world I can play the three, but only in France I have to play the four. So I'm like, okay, I play it, no problem. It's a mismatch. But
Right.
how do you stay? I'm trying to ask? Like, how do you stay? How do you keep your swag when this coach is just simply telling you that they put a lot of handcuffs on you in France, in my opinion.
Yeah. So thankfully, the only coach that I've had that has put handcuffs on me was the first one. And I really thank my coach last year at Campera because he let me be me, and he also knew that he could let me be me even more than he was.
Mm-hmm.
And I told him that. We had a bunch of talks, and he's a like you mentioned earlier. He played at the highest level. He played Olympics. His name rings bells in France, and he's a young guy. He's still learning, and he helped me understand that I could be me in France. And a lot of people didn't like me being me talking to the crowd or
Right.
having fun, being that rah-rah guy. And I found another coach this year that's continuing to help me be that.
Yeah, I like
And
it.
I know I can even do more than I'm doing right now. I know I can even play more than I'm playing right now. And that's just me knowing who I am. But I'm grateful because I'm at a level where there will be teams watching in the future and coaches watching that'll see enough. And as time goes on, maybe even at a higher level, there'll be a coach that'll let me do more, and I'll be ready for that. But I always put in the work, and I make sure that I stay ready. I
Right.
make sure that I stay ready.
I ain't gonna keep you too much longer, bro. I got
No, this is fun.
two more quick questions for you, bro. What's your in season workout like? Like it's like what's your in season routine for as training with the weights, or do you do anything special? Do you don't work out at all? Like what do you do during the season? We always focus on out of season, but what are you doing during the season?
I take care of my body. A lot of rehab, a lot of prehab, weight room. I love the weight room.
You gotten bigger,
Um,
boy.
Man, my shoulders is here. You know what
Yeah,
I'm
your
saying? My
shoulders have got
shoulders is
bigger,
here.
boy.
So, and we got the t-shirt, so look good.
Yeah.
But nah, so it's just consistent work, whether it's after practice, whether it's before, a lot of shooting, a lot of doing. I learned to do stuff that I'm doing in the games. A lot of people do shit that they've never done or they will never do in games, and it doesn't help them. They wasting their time. In the off season, in season, I like to do things that I'm like, okay, this didn't work because I didn't practice it yet, but I'm gonna work on this till it becomes comfortable. And then every off season, I will add something as well. But in the in season is just a lot of weight room and a lot of shooting, a lot of before and after practice work, and just for me, I focus on doing things that I'm gonna do in the game or doing things that I need to do in the games in the future. So.
I got you. Now, if you know Chima, you got two things about Chima. You got the glasses and you got the hair.
Mm.
What's the
No,
significance of the hair and the glass?
there's three things, boss.
What's the
You
other thing?
forgot the last one.
Well, I mean, you
The,
jumping out the gym?
the
Uh,
headband, boss.
yeah. All right, the heavy. I got you. Is there
The
any
headband.
significance to that? That's your swag. That's how you trying to. That's like a logo for
Absolutely.
me. That's how I look at
Hey,
it.
hey, listen. My Instagram profile picture, um, it's a silhouette of me, and you can't confuse it with anybody else.
Nobody else.
I'm glad you brought that up, but my hair, the headband, and the goggles. Who else can you say is doing that? And
Unique.
you know, I didn't wear glasses till till I moved to America actually. In 2013, I got glasses and I was struggling to see the whole time. Had to play with goggles, and my swag was never it back then.
Right.
And I finally got my swag right a couple years ago. And I realized that people are drawn to me. Like people notice me, and I'll get messages on Instagram from people that are saying, yo, you look very stylish. You look interesting. Like, I'm curious to keep following you. And, in pregame warmups, when you see a guy that looks like that, even with the gap teeth, I feel like that's another thing that you could add to that. And people just notice that. And
Right.
then when you see me start jumping, start dunking, it's like, okay, something's up. He knows that he's got something. Let me see what this guy's about. And then some people hate me, and then some people want to support me, but I just know that a lot of people won't forget me.
Good. That's a bar.
That's a ball. I should put that on a shirt. You feel
That's
me?
that's gonna be one of the headlines.
Hey,
I got one more question, bro.
yes, sir.
I come from a small like slave plantation background. Like I'm from the sticks,
Right,
southern Louisiana, very small-minded, bubble type lifestyle.
right.
Uh, to think I'm gonna be playing across the world wasn't even thought. I didn't even know overseas basketball existed. It was NBL
Simple,
bus for me. You know what
simple.
I'm saying? What would you tell the young kid from your state that's coming up that's black, just being honest, that's not being taken serious, being stigmatized as just an athlete, can't think the game. Like that's a stigma that's engraved in humans that you see the white French guy, you say, oh, he's automatically shooter and high IQ. You
Right.
see the black guy that's athletic and you say, oh, all he could do is jump, run, and dunk. I'm like, bro, I'm one of the smartest guys out here. I'm not even a good basketball player. I just study the game so much. But
Right.
what would you tell the young kid that's coming up that's just like Chima?
Man, I mean, it's cliche, but it's simple. If I could do it, I promise you, there's thousands, millions of people that could do it too, and probably do it better. I don't. I want to grow up, and I want to have kids, and I want them to be better than me, and I want to give them the opportunity to be better. So the people that don't feel like they can't do it, you're never gonna do something by yourself. The person or the people that are above you and that help, you got to keep them around, and you got to understand that you need to take advice, you need to take criticism, and you can't do it by yourself. Because no matter how hard I work, if that guy in Australia never saw me, who
It
knows where
matters.
I'd be? If the coaches from Davis never offered me, who knows what my story would be? So
Right.
I never did nothing by myself, but I think the most important part is you believing that you're capable of doing what you want to do. And then you got to be lucky to have people that will see you at the right time, people that will believe in you. You know, like I said, the people that believe in me, the few people that believed in me, I know who they are, and every time I get a deal or something, I thank them.
Mm,
Every time I thank them because I know that there were times where they didn't even have to do what they did for me,
that's
but they
amazing.
helped me out,
That's
and
amazing.
they believed in me almost as much as I believed in myself. But if you're listening to this and you're a young guy growing up and you need inspiration, just be your biggest fan, be your biggest critic, and work as hard as you need to. And hopefully you'll get lucky and the right person that can help you get to the next level will see you.
That's amazing, bro. That's big that you say. I'm reading this book called Never Eat Alone, and
Okay.
it's crazy how certain people just come in your life magically, you know.
Man.
So that's big, man. That was amazing. You got anything you want to add? Anything you want to plug, or anything you got going on?
Um, just follow me on Instagram at Chimdog, 3 G's at the end. But stay tuned. Stay tuned for this movie, man. Like there's something special that's gonna happen.
Uh,
And people need to get on the bandwagon early. Don't get
mm,
on when it's too late. Don't say you was watching when you wasn't. Cause and believe in yourself, like I said earlier. Believe in yourself because there will be more haters than fans. And
mm.
those haters will become fans when you've made it.
That's the best part.
Simple as
That's
that.
why. Speaking of that, I got the book coming out December 24th. How to Make Them Pay.
Mm.
I want to thank Chima for coming on, bro. Next time you go to Australia, let me know. My girl dream is to go to Australia. I'm a
Nah,
photographer. I've been studying the landscape. I got to get some pictures out there. Uh,
absolutely.
but once again, man, just thank you for taking the time out. Come and share some of your gems, and letting the viewers that follow me and the people that look up to me and you that get some insight on, because they need to know the story, bro. They need to know it. That's our job to pass it along. You know what I'm saying? So I want to
Absolutely.
thank you again, bro. Appreciate it. We'll keep in touch. And
Always.
yeah, man, just hit me up, bro.
This was fun. I appreciate you for having this platform and for bringing the truth. You know what I'm saying? So continue to do what you're doing, and I'm sure this will continue to get to the places that it needs to be. So thank you, bro.
Appreciate it, my brother.
Yes,
Sir.
sir.